Hey, I'm Chris Eager. I'm the Director of Innovative Instruction in the district, and I'm here with.
Teresa Riemann, Director of Technology.
All right, and we're going to talk a little bit about enduring understandings. So, over the course of the next couple of minutes, we're going to take you through what enduring understandings are, some examples, why they're important, and how they get implemented into the curriculum.
So we're going to start off with a definition of what enduring understandings are. So you can think of them as big ideas and concepts that encompass the entire curriculum. They are timeless wisdom instead of just facts and skills. They're meant to be broad statements that encompass not just the course, but can transfer to other content areas, between grade levels, and even outside of the curriculum. One way to think about it is to focus on the forest and not the trees. So looking at the big picture.
Okay.
Some examples,
No,
of
go for it.
enduring understandings. So here's an example of an English language arts one that says good writers explain similarities and differences between two or more concepts or ideas. That's a very broad statement that will cover an entire course for a year. But as you can see from that statement, it can be used in even other curriculum areas. Whereas the one in science, organisms reproduce either sexually or asexually and transfer their genetic information in their offspring. Also very broad and can be used not only at the elementary levels, but then when they get to high school as well and things like biology.
Okay, so why are enduring understandings important? So, think of enduring understandings as kind of like the glue that binds an entire year together or an entire course together. So, as stated earlier, enduring understandings generally cross curriculum and go through an entire year. So, unlike standards that are generally rooted within a specific time frame within a course, or focus questions, or a specific type of content that is within like a unit, an enduring understanding holds an entire course together through big ideas. And this is why they can be transferable across content areas, but they can also be kind of transferable across grades. Now, why is that important? What it does is it gives focus to the curriculum and allows it to be able to have some sort of understanding for the students from day one to the end of the year. So I always say, like, your enduring understanding should be made into kind of like your end of the year final exam essay questions, because they encompass everything you've done. You can pull examples from the whole year from it. All right. So, how do enduring understandings connect to the standards? So, as stated earlier, the standards are kind of where you're going to start when developing your enduring understandings, because they kind of give this uniform structure to the curriculum. So, teachers have the opportunity to be able to build curriculums that kind of focus on the interests and the values of the community. However, it's kind of like the standards that kind of bind all different districts together, and things that we expect all students to be able to do by the time they leave a public school. What enduring understandings allow you to do is they allow you to take those standards and pull across what you believe are the areas that you value the most and kind of construct the timeless wisdom that comes from those standards.
Also, we need to understand that how enduring understandings connect to the essential questions in a particular unit. So using our analogy of the forest and the trees, you can think of the essential questions as your trees and the enduring understandings are the forest. So what you're doing as the teachers is you're guiding students through the curriculum and you're helping them plant those trees to build the forest. So you're giving them those little pieces in each of the units and then the individual lessons to start to get that background knowledge and skills that will help them develop that overarching understanding and make those connections that can then be transferred to other areas throughout their life. So an example of this is in the examples that we used before with the English language arts, where we had the enduring understanding about good writers. Here's an example from a particular unit that focused on teaching tolerance. So some of the essential questions are: when do we need to accept and or tolerate differences, and what is unacceptable and or intolerable? So you can see how there's a relation, but those questions are very specific, whereas the enduring understanding is more broad, but it will help students, again, get those individual skills that will get them to that greater understanding. And then for the science one, we have the two examples, essential questions: how do organisms grow, develop, and reproduce? And how does reproduction relate to heredity? Again, those specific little pieces that will help them get that greater understanding.
Great. So how do enduring understandings influence instruction? They kind of pull it all together. As you start to do your lesson planning, the enduring understandings create that thread that kind of go all the way across the year. So when you think about the enduring understandings, you're thinking about these type of big ideas that transcend any individual day, but hold all of the days together. So like when a student asks a question like, why are we learning this? You can point to an enduring understanding if it is written well and just be like, this is why you're learning it. And today helps build towards a better understanding of this larger question. So how do enduring understandings connect to the portrait of a graduate? The thing about having broad-based questions is that you can pull in values and expectations for students as they grow throughout the course of the year. So when you look at something like the ELA and the examples that we have here, the ELA example at the top, sorry. Good writers explain similarities and differences between two or more concepts and ideas. So when we're looking at this, it builds in some of the concepts through the portrait of a graduate, such as empathy and reflection, being able to understand what's being put down from different people's points of view, being able to self-evaluate and to be able to understand what another person's opinion might be and how that might have a reflection on your thinking. It fits into thinkers and inquirers by the concept of being able to analyze and to be able to pull across original thinking. Now, these are things we value, and they are things that we teach. And what enduring understandings can do is make that a lot more explicit to a student.
So that's all we have for a general overview of what enduring understandings are and how they kind of fit within the curriculum. And in our next video, we're going to discuss some tips for how you can create them.